Right, okay, team. The good news is we've started to fight back, leading to Manager of the Month award. You saw Mabasso scoring there, and he's won the Cupat trophy. I think this is the second time he's won it, but I've got a question. What the hell is the Copa Trophy? So the better performances have meant that we've started to climb the league again, and we're sitting all right. We're sitting in third, just behind Benfica and Braga. We had that sticky start, didn't we? So we made a tiny change, and I guess it's all down to the fact our left wing back changed. Now Daniel is going to be a great player. He's not there yet, so we can't put all of our attacking burden on him. So to change it up a bit, I did a simple team instruction. I added in focused play through the middle, and when you look at the team, it kind of makes sense because our good players, our creative players, Mabasso, Silva, and Aymar, the wonder kid on loan from Chelsea, are all in the middle. So let's get them more of the ball. Now, speaking of Daniel, remember we've got him on loan from Palmeiras with a view to a permanent move. Look at his progression. Arrows all flying up, nearly every attribute, nearly every one, and a couple of standouts really shooting up. He's on a nice pathway at the minute, slowly progressing to get to that potential ability of 4 stars. Now, the Champions League has always been a goal this season to do decent in it, and we just did our best performance of the season against Monaco. You saw Daniel there with the assist, he's bedding in nicely, and on the other side, big trip off ski, he's starting to fire as well. Lovely assist. In fact, he repeated the dose again. Constant threat down the right hand side, linking up with Silva. And it led to a thumping 4-0 away win. We got this good win against Sporting, 1-0, nothing spectacular, right? So to get results like that and lock games down, I took a bit of my own advice off a recent video and I just tweaked things. So when it's like 80 minutes or so, a few of these roles change, especially this guy down the left-hand side. There's no point having a complete wing-back on attack with 10 minutes to go, so he usually gets dropped down to a wing-back on the support, and occasionally Wana, I will move him over there to make him a winger, just so we're more symmetric, a little bit more solid to see the game out. And not to mention dropping that attacking mentality, we go back down balanced. But there's loads of other tips on that video, so go check that one out. And I won't lie, the reason I brought that philosophy into it was this game against bottom of the league, Estoril, and if you look there, you can see, have a little look at the last 10 minutes. We were 1-0 up, and then with me sleeping on the tactic button, we conceded 4 times. So despite that defeat, we are sitting second, lodged in behind Benfica. We're not playing great though. Look at the goal difference, only 8. The goals have dried up a bit. We've only scored 20 in 12 matches so far. We've already lost 3 matches, which is more than the entirety of last season. It's the difficult second album this season. But the good news is we don't have to look for a striker in January because we do have João Pedro. We bought him from America in Brazil, loaned him straight back to them, but he is due back on New Year's Day. And if you look at him, he looks like he could be a really nice player. His physicals are off the chain. And it's the bi-yearly problem of the Africa Cup of Nations. There's 6 players been called up there, and 5 of those are in the first team squad. That's going to cause a few issues. It's for this reason we picked up free agent Charles de Ketelaere. Yeah, I know I probably murdered his name, so let's call him Sir Charles. But he comes in till the end of the season. He's 34 years old now, but he can play everywhere, and he's a good bit of experience for the back end of the season. Now, on the other end of the scale is our boy Miroslav. Now, if you remember, Miroslav was bought from Sparta Prague for a club record 10 million. And I knew it was money well spent. He's going to be a world beater, and his attributes are all on the rise. In fact, a couple of key ones, his acceleration and agility in his physical section, 18 and 20, they are standing out, and you can see it in match. This is a recent game against Braga. I'm going to pause it there, and this is where you can see a couple of attributes come into play. He's tightly marked, but he's going to use that acceleration and agility just to burst past this man like he wasn't there. I'll press play now. There you go. See you later. And I mean, come on, let's see that again. He's an exciting talent. He's already got 10 assists, and the media description is fittingly a wonder kid. He's going to be hard to keep hold of, but a great signing. Now, speaking of our great signings, in the past we've had some boomers. The goalkeeper and 2 centre-backs are fantastic. We've had them a good while now, all from like 18, 19. Problem is, the better they get, the more teams want them. So to counter this, Dylan, our keeper, who is only 21, got a new contract with a release clause of 80 million. So if someone wants him, they're going to have to pay. Sergio Pozzo joined him in that, and again, the release clause 80 million. And Vlad the Terminator, same gig, new contract, 80 million to buy him out of it. So my friends, if these big teams do want them, they're going to have to pay, and you never know, we might get a little step closer to that goal of a net transfer profit of 1 billion. At the minute, looking at those figures of transfer value bought for 56 and transfer value brought in for 182, that's about 130, which means we're about 870 off. We're into January now, and it's Porto away in the big local derby. And we do what we do against Porto. We beat them. This means we're snuck in behind Benfica, 4 points behind, but we do have a game in hand. And the good news is the team are performing well. Daniel's progressed well enough for me to drop the focus play through the middle, so we're not as predictable. And João Pedro has returned from his loan spell, so he will be a big factor in the second half of the season. A dominant display against Benfica at home, with former player Wana putting us in the lead. 85 minutes, a real smash and grab from Benfica as they level the match. Damn it, that could be crucial. Our central midfield problems continue because Chelsea recall Joan Roman Amar. So I went off to Barcelona and replaced him with Roberto Arribas. He's on loan for the rest of the season. The Champions League has gone really well. This was a big win away in the San Siro. We only just missed out on the top 8, finishing 10th. If you told me a few seasons ago we'd be comfortably beating Arsenal in the Champions League, I would have laughed at you. We won't be holding on to our League Cup though, because Benfica beat us in an epic in the semi-final. On the flip side though, we are still doing really well in the TATO de Portugal, and we find ourselves now in the semis of that. As we go into February, this is the state of play. We've been knocked out of the semis of that Alliance Cup. We are in the semi-finals in the TATO de Portugal against local rivals Porto, and the Champions League has thrown up a very interesting knockout game against Sporting, and in the league we are behind Benfica still, like the whole season, clinging on to that game in hand. So Champions League against Sporting, and Mabasso comes on and scores the winner in the first leg in the 90th minute. In the second leg, however, this penalty from Sporting put them 2-0 up and 2-1 up on aggregate. That's when I called for my boy Mabasso again. 89 minutes have gone. We're desperate to score here. He doesn't let us down. It goes to extra time. In extra time, he's on it again. Mabasso. In what could go down as my greatest substitution in this entire save, Mabasso was there again 2 minutes later. And to stick a dagger in the heart of Sporting at 108 minutes, he did it again. There you see it, we go through after extra time. What an impact he had when he came on. My boy Mabasso. So that leads us into the round of 16, where we have unfortunately drew PSG. That's going to be a brutal, brutal game. Tough. Now in the league, you can see over there, we are 2 games behind Benfica now, but worryingly 12 points. That's going to be hard to claw back. There's not many games left. Remember, there's only 18 teams in this league. So they've got 9 games left. We've got 11. But we do still need to play Benfica. So if we can win our games in hand and then beat Benfica, you never know. So it's shortly time for this PSG game. Now, home leg first. In fact, you want to have a look at their team. Wait till you see this. Here we have PSG's lineup, and it's enough to scare the living daylights out there. Let's start at the top. Obviously, there's Kylian Mbappe. He's 37 now, but not much has left him. He's still pretty nippy. He hasn't got much strength, but other than that, scary. On one side, you've got Kvaratskhelia, Xavi Simons. On the right-hand side, we've got Sosbalai. And how about midfield 2 of Ugarte and Xavi? Pretty scary, right? But the eagle eye of you will have noticed, and it's probably our best chance here, is that every one of these players, Mbappe at 37, Kvaratskhelia at 35, even Xavi at 31, all of them are in their mid to late 30s, other than a couple of younger players that are sitting in there. But there's not many. Even Nuno Mendes, they're playing at centre-back, he's 33. So I think our best bet is to crank up the intensity everywhere and just try and zap them with energy. First leg was at home, super tight affair. Jules Koundé, another player they've got, through to Kvaratskhelia. I'm not sure what my keeper was doing. Disaster. The match finishes 1-0, super tight match, nothing in it. So the second leg's going to be in Paris, and it's going to be a big ask. We're 1-0 behind. So I had a look at the scout report, and the big one that shot out to me was this one here. You can see formations faced, vulnerable against playing 4-4-2 style formations. This is the big one here. Concede an average of 4 clear-cut chances per 90 minutes. That's huge. That's huge. So seeing that, I am really tempted to start with the 4-2-4 that we've got lined up in case of emergencies. It might be the way to break them down. So here we are, Champions League time against PSG. We've got a goal down. Now Mabasso has to start. He plays it through to the trip. And then João Pedro, our new Brazilian sensation, puts us in the lead. Pretty much straight from kickoff, Sosbolai whips it across. They've got Rooney Bardi as well, by the way. And Daniel, showing his inexperience, gave away a penalty. Of course, it was Mbappe who stepped up. Cocky little beggar. The boys were reeling a bit after that. And on 32 minutes, here's Rooney Bardi again. He whips it across. Carnage in the box, and it's an own goal. Into the second half, and we do go for the 4-2-4 to try and go for it. Pretty much straight away, 1 minute into the second half, cross comes in. Bang! We're back in it. It's 2-2. Momentum's on our side now. Silva into the box. Just saved by Tarati. We had 20 minutes to try and find this equaliser.